10 inches, huh? So it is 1:05. I am so distracted. I was going to try to wait until I got some people in the room on Bigo Live. I wasn't so much concerned about YouTube, but either way, I am live on both platforms. Um, so, welcome to Midnight Mindfulness. This is the session entitled Distractions, okay? And rightfully so. So, most people will probably catch this in the playback, and, it will be in divine timing. So, I feel like I'm going to rush through this, which I don't want to rush through it. But again, I'm very distracted as I was trying to write down the downloads that I was getting. And I had decided that I was going to go live at 1 a.m. Um, and of course, I've been being distracted all day, phone ringing, just different little things happening. And I swear, I was trying to write right up until the moment when I was going to go live. And I would say about 10 minutes before I was getting ready to go live, my phone started ringing. And yeah, uh, I'm distracted. I kind of, felt like I should have ignored the phone call. Then I felt like maybe I should have answered it. And so I'm a little distracted because I was like, I feel like this is a distraction and, trying to like keep me from being on my path. I feel like I know that I've been gone for probably a week. I've missed a very important panel that I wanted to do this week, partly due to welcome to the people that are joining me in both rooms. Um, so I am live on both platforms. So shout out to House of Healing LLC on YouTube and to House of Healing on Bigo Live as well, to my rabbit hole. So like I said, I'm trying to um, calm my mind, first and foremost, because I, again, was getting calls right before I decided to go live, and just yet another distraction. But I do appreciate the people who are joining me on YouTube as well as on Vigo Live. Again, there will be people who will probably have to hear this in the playback, but welcome to the rabbit hole. Welcome to House of Healing LLC. Um, Again, I'm just trying to like gather my thoughts and calm my mind as I feel like I've been being distracted a lot today. And this is every time that I prepare to go live, or even in the beginning of each month when I try to start a new month on Bigo, so many distractions come. And so that's why I named this live on YouTube Distractions, because these things do come as deterrents from our path when we have decided to walk, this path to self-realization. And so I want to, us to recognize these distractions as part of the warfare, okay? Because again, the devil's greatest trick was to convince the world that he doesn't exist, okay? So I'm here to illuminate some of the tricks, the deception, the ways in which we, get robbed of our energy and of our time. Okay. I wrote when I started writing the downloads, because I do have some downloads written down, but again, it was very sporadic because I kept getting phone calls, just emails, people at the door, just, a lot of distractions that I do recognize as part of this. As I do feel that in this past week that I have shifted to a different level of consciousness. And as we know, and we always say, new levels, new devils. So I'm excited about a lot of things that are happening, but at the same time, the challenges are different. I won't even say so much greater, just different, right? It's just like different challenge, different levels of frustration with the challenges. And I mean, so the distractions, I just named that, out of you know, the moment, because I was being distracted as I was trying to write down, what I was getting from spirit. At the same time, there is an overwhelming amount of energy coming in too for those of us who are direct channels. There's a lot of cosmic energy that's coming in that we have to, be able to integrate and then be able to decode and decipher, okay, and then impart to you guys. And so at this, oh my God, my phone is ringing again. I really don't want it. It's 1:11 on the clock. I'm really trying not to be distracted. My phone is ringing. I don't even know if my Bigo Live is still up. Um, I don't want to continue to, like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why am I being distracted in this way? I'm trying not to be frustrated. I'm trying to stay focused. Um, Okay, so Bigo Live, I hope that you guys can hear me. I'm trying to stay focused and stay on the path despite distractions. So, this is a family member that's calling, and I know that I'm not the only person that they have that they can call. And it's like, it feels like, I'm gonna get into it as I go deeper into what I want to talk about, because I did kind of write about the ways that these things happen in the downloads that I do have written down, and I don't want to be distracted to the point where I'm losing focus and not making sense. So just understand, my people, that even as I work in this moment, I am fighting through distractions, okay, to even be here, okay, and to stay focused. Because if I answer that phone call, then I'm going to have to end the live, and I'm going to have to actually go out and get in my car and go out and do something. And I'm just not being drawn into that right now, okay, and it is a battle for me. So you know, welcome to the rabbit hole. Welcome, my people, to Midnight Mindfulness. Okay. I'm sending you all love, light, healing, peace, okay, and infinite abundance. So I wrote down the law of cause and effect at the top of my paper when I started to write these downloads. But again, I've been writing sporadically throughout the day, and I intended to try to write all the way up to the moment when I wanted to go live at 1 a.m. And then the phone rang, like, again, like 10 minutes before I was ready to go live. And so that kind of threw me off. And now I feel like I'm kind of rushing through this, and I'm trying not to. And so just bear with me, my people. I am in the midst of warfare as we speak, and fighting through it. Okay. So for some reason, I wrote the law of cause and effect at the top of my paper because I wanted to talk about the 7 hermetic principles. And for some reason, at this morning, this was the one that I wanted to focus on. Now, I do know that as I was writing, the the trajectory shifted a little bit. So, as I go forward, we're going to go into some other things. Again, this is throughout the day, just an overwhelming amount of energy coming in. And so me trying to, just gather all of this, enough to make it make sense to you guys. Okay. So the law of cause and effect, basically, I always put this in my own words, but you can look it up. And, it is one of the seven hermetic principles in the Kabbalion, or there's other places that you can look. But the law of cause effect, in the unraveler's words, okay, is that you will experience the effect of that which you have intended to cause. Okay. So meaning that, what we send is just another way of saying, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's another way of saying that what goes around comes around. What you have done to the least of, God's people, you have also done to God. It's just basically restating in different ways the law of oneness, basically, proving the fact that there is just one being here having many experiences. Okay. So in order to receive something, you have to give, and whatever you put out, it is coming back. Okay. And so this is the law of cause and effect in action. When we seek to fulfill our needs at the expense of other people, when we take, we are transgressing against this spiritual law, this universal law, and thereby we activate the experience of karma. Okay, we activate that law, to basically come back around on us in this, in this loop of our own energy that we cannot get out of, no matter how hard we try. Okay. And so again, you will experience the effects of that which you intend to cause. So this is why we have to do unto others as we would have them to do unto us. It's like, if you want something to happen for you, then you have to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? If you want to receive something, then you have to give that. Okay. And so this is important because a lot of people are under karmic judgment right now for transgressing against this law. Okay. And it's I want to just make it apparent to people that we are all experiencing the effects of that which we have intended to cause. Okay, whether that has been good or bad. It's important for us to understand where we are in this, this awakening, in this time of change. Okay, I've been speaking about the time of change for several years, and we are in it. Okay, and so this is why a lot of people are under judgment at this time. This is the war, okay, that I dreamt about. Okay, when I talk about the time of change, I'm speaking about a dream that I had 26 years ago that told me about this time, that it would be a time when most of humanity would be going through a spiritual transformation. Most people are going through a profound spiritual awakening. This was symbolized by butterflies everywhere in the dream. Okay, so I said that to say this, that, we are in the time of change as we speak, meaning that your whole entire world is being reconfigured beneath your feet, even as we speak. Okay, and so it's the world that is being torn down as the new world is being built up is, the quote unquote matrix. Okay, it is the world of illusions. It is the world that the devil had rule over, because he is the master of illusions. Okay, so he was the master of that world, that simulation, okay, in which a lot of people were NPCs, non-playable characters. Okay, and so as we awaken, we begin to take our power back, because we begin to remember that it is our minds and our energy, our attention, that has been creating the reality. And so we began to create deliberately those things that we desire versus those things that have been spoon fed to us, okay, by the powers that used to be. Okay, so as the world is reconfiguring itself, we need to understand that nothing that we see with our physical eyes should be taken at face value at this point. Okay, because we are collectively shifting into a more spiritually based reality. that require us to look deeper than what our physical eyes can see. Okay, we have to learn how to interpret a reality that requires our heart as well as our first eye to be open. Okay, because the spiritual reality is more of a emotionally based reality. We have to feel our way through this reality. We'll know what's the truth by the way that it feels. We'll know who another person is by the way that their energy feels. So we have to become more acutely aware. Those who have, who were not already, tuned in, are becoming more tuned in to the energies, the subtle energies, that they may not have been aware of before now. The purpose for everyone becoming more acutely aware of your emotions, the effect of your emotions on your own physical body, on the reality, and on other people, is, so that we remember that our mission here as light workers is to love. Okay, and love in whatever form that manifests for you personally. Okay, I reflect my destiny. Welcome to House of Healing LLC. I appreciate the energy. Also, share the live, share the love on Bigo Live, my people. We are just getting into it, but I am going to kind of try to rush through this and remain. I'm going to try not to rush through it, but I'm trying to get through it as quick as I can because, again, I'm being surrounded by distractions. My phone is still ringing. I'm just trying to, honor myself in this moment and, um, stay focused on the mission at hand. Okay. So back to the mission at hand. The mission of the light worker, though, is the mission is always love. And I'm always going to remind us of that no matter what we are talking about. Okay. And so, pride, megaphone, rainbow handle. Okay. Um, so basically, it is love in whatever form, whether it's in the form of a rainbow handle, pride microphone. Okay, I reflect my destiny, or whether it's in the form of a hug, a phone call, going out to feed the homeless people, whatever it is, whatever way that we can bring love into this world, that is the mission at hand, my people. Why is love the mission? Because we each hold a piece of God, a little spark of God within us. Okay. Auntie Carrie, welcome to the panel on Bigo Live. So we're talking about, um, I was talking about distractions, but I'm going to get into a lot of things. But I was just talking about how getting to this next level of consciousness, because I do feel that even over this past week, there was a full moon, and when that full moon energy, even before it came in, and I mean even after, it completely drained all of my energy to begin with. It, so I didn't have any energy, and then as my energy began to restore itself. Can you mute Auntie Carrie until we start to talk, because I think that's what's causing the echo. But I do want you to stay. I do want you to participate. Did you want to say something though before I go forward? Auntie Carrie, did you want to say anything before I move forward, babe? Okay. Yeah, I do want you to stay. I am going to, get a discussion going here. So I did keep the boxes open. I just wanted to, start it off and try to get my YouTube going. So I am live on both platforms. And I'm talking about right now in the moment, the mission of the light workers, just to remind people who claim to be working the light, okay, that light that we are working is that individual spark of God that we each carry within our heart center. And I'm saying that we are here to express love in whatever form that manifests for you. Some of us are singers, some of us are writers, some of us are artists or poets. Whatever it is that you do, this is your soul. And if you have love in your heart, then express that and share that with the world, because this is how we're going to purge the shadows and the darkness from the world. And we are going to go a little bit deeper into talking a little bit more about shadow work and how this is done, and why love is the mission at hand. And again, it's because God is love. Okay, it's an energy. It's a high, it's the highest vibration that you can align with, and it's what's needed in order to win this warfare, okay, that we are be subjected to, whether you are aware of it or not. We each hold a spark of God within us in our heart center. I always talk about, the builder that lives in our heart, and there's a throne, okay, that sits in within the flame that's in our heart. Okay, this is not an image that I created. This is an image that the Most High gave me when He told me about how His throne was broken, okay, by the enemy, and how He placed His throne in the flame, and the flame is in our hearts. Okay, so when I'm speaking about working this light, I'm speaking about allowing this spark of God that is within you, the builder, to express itself through you. Okay. Yes, we are the dismembered parts of the body of God. Okay. And no matter what name that you call God by, because I don't subscribe or cater to any organized religion, and I'm not against any of them. I'm not concerned with the religion. I am concerned with the relationship. Okay. So I don't care what your religion may be. I care whether or not you have a relationship with the indwelling spirit that lives in your heart. Okay. And so we each have a piece of God in the center of our heart. And together we make up the God puzzle that I always talk about. So, in order to see God as a whole, as holy, the one who is complete, we have to remember ourselves, because to remember means to put back together the dismembered parts of the body. Deep State, I see you in the building. Fresh Unknown, Goddess Amen, welcome to the building. I'm loving the triple fours in the building. Archangel Michael, beloved, in the building. I appreciate you all. I'm sending you all love and light. So, how do we put back together the dismembered bodies, the dismembered pieces of the body of God? We put it back together with love. Why love? Because love is an energetic connection, a connection between the heart and the mind, between the intellect and the emotion within the individual. So self-love looks like bringing my intellectual part of me under submission to the emotional part of me, meaning bringing the mind or the thought process under submission to what the heart wants. Why should the mind come under submission to the heart? Because God lives in the heart. God is the master builder. So the heart gives the instructions, the mind carries out the action. Love is good, Deep State. All is as it should be. You know, it's always the order of the day. Okay. So, in order to see what we call God, my people, we have to remember ourselves. Okay. God is not separate from us. Okay. God is us as us. When we remember that we have to put ourselves back together by connecting with one another in the heart and in the mind. Love is an energetic connection between the heart and the mind, between the divine masculine represented by the intellect and the divine feminine represented by the emotion. Love is the glue that holds the pieces of the God puzzle together. Okay. And so this is why the supreme order, okay, and the mission at hand, my people, is love. Because the ultimate goal is to put the pieces of the body of God back together, to remember ourselves. And when I'm saying this, I want you to understand each time that God is not separate from us. Okay, but we are the pieces. And the only way we come back together is in love. Hence the scripture, where two or more are gathered in my name, which is love, there I am in the midst. Okay. Kwanu, is that how I pronounce your name? Welcome to the panel. Well, feel free to speak up and to add into the conversation, my people. I am kind of just channeling, writing down. I'm reading from some of the downloads that I was, I'm channeling a little bit, and I'm also reading from the downloads. But I am going to keep the boxes open because when I'm done with this, I do want to discuss and go down the rabbit hole a little bit about where we all are. Let me get my ear pods so I can hear you guys. I want to go down the rabbit hole a little bit about where we are on our spiritual paths, and some of the things that we may be, some shared experiences that we may be having, answer some questions and go down the rabbit hole a little bit. So, but again, I want to remind us that the goal is this, because the name of the Midnight Mindfulness on YouTube is distractions. And the reason why we forget that the goal is love is to come back together and to put back together the dismembered parts of the body of God, to remember ourselves, so that we remember that we are one, that there is just one being here having many experiences. Okay. So I'm going to always be reminding of us of this going forward, because this is of utmost importance. Okay. Where two or more are gathered in the name of love, there God is in the midst, because God is love. So, in spite of whatever else we are doing, my people, the greatest challenge of our lives is to bring love into this world. It seems simple, but for some reason, for most people, it seems easier said than done. And this is due to, you know, childhood traumas for most people, unhealed wounds. This is due to the shadows that have not been acknowledged. So, in spite of whatever else we may be doing, we need to remember that the goal here is love, and to really think about, how did we get into a world that needs love so much? How do we think that our world became so corrupt when we are the ones creating it with our thoughts, with our emotions? How is the negativity coming into the world if not through the people who are creating it? Could it be, Kwanu, could it be that the people are not conscious of the fact that they are creating this world? Could it be that they have been spoon fed images and information that hijacks and usurps their thoughts and emotions? Could it be that Morpheus was right, that this is all about energy? Could it be that he was right when Neo asked him, what was this all about? What is this matrix game simulation all about? When Morpheus held up the battery and said it's all about energy. It's all about your energy being used without your permission. I'm not even going to say without your permission, because you are giving consent when you give your energy. So I will say that you have been deceived into giving and paying attention, not understanding that your attention is a currency. Your attention is the conduit by which your energy flows into a creation and gives it life. And so your attention has been hijacked by distractions. The lady in the red dress on the Matrix. So when we acknowledge that the negativity in the world actually came through the people, then we have to understand what we need to do in order to counteract that negativity. Just as that negativity came through the people, so can that the love and light that we need in order to overcome this darkness can come through the people. This is the whole purpose of the light worker being here, and this is the work that the light worker should be doing. When people are ungrateful, when they are, when they complain out of habit, when they are more drawn to the negativity in situations than they look for the light in situations or in people, places, or things, they are a conduit for negativity. And they don't know it. Okay? Most people who complain out of habit, most people who are just pessimistic by nature and vibrate low, this is just their overall disposition, and they don't understand that they are being used as a conduit for negativity to come into this world. It's coming in through your words, your thoughts, your deeds. All of these things are different levels of energy that take form and become your world. Okay? OG, I appreciate your energy, and everyone in the House of Healing LLC on YouTube as well. To the 90 people in the room on Bigo Live. So ask yourself, are you one of those people who complains out of negativity? Or are you a grateful person? Do you look for things? Because I don't have to look for things. Like, I've been grateful for so many years. At this point, it's my second nature. It's my first nature. Like, you know what I'm saying? That being gratitude is my overall attitude. Okay, even as I'm blocking distractions from keeping me from getting this word out and doing this live. I don't know what it is about this particular word that the devil does not want to get out. But I promise y'all, I am being distracted even as I'm trying to get it out. OG, I received that. Okay. And I returned that 100 times. I so appreciate you. So I'm really trying to stay focused. Um, do you look for the good in people, places, or things, or do you gravitate towards the negativity? Because, we are in a world of duality, and we can choose, whether we want to look at the yin or the yang, whether we want to be part of the yin or the yang. We do have a choice. And that's the beautiful thing about this world, whether we live in a world of duality or not, we do have the power of choice. Okay. And so we can choose. Do we desire to experience God, which is the experience of love, or are we rejecting God by rejecting one another? I just said something. Again, God is not separate from us. When I'm speaking of God, I'm speaking of the indwelling spirit that lives in the heart center. And that at the core of everything that is living is the same builder. There is but one being here having many experiences. And this is why all of the laws work in the ways that they do. Everything that you send out is coming back to you because there literally is no one else but you. In the illusion, there is the illusion of separation from the creator and the creation. But in the truth, there is just oneness. There is just unity. There is just God. The goal, the supreme order, if we are to evolve, my people, is to come together. Not to separate, but to connect. You put a puzzle together by connecting, and we are literally the living pieces of the God puzzle. To separate is to move away from the goal, the source. To connect in love is to progress towards the source. Because the end game is oneness with God and one another. So to continue to believe in the illusion of separation is to keep yourself in an old timeline, 3D world where there is no progress, but where history is repeating itself and you are chasing your tail around and around and around and around in a perpetual loop of hypnotic rhythm, negative hypnotic rhythm. Because each time you go around that circle, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And you forget more and more and more who you are, to the point where you become a person whose ego has consumed them. And you have forgotten the truth of who you are. You have forgotten your soul. Hence the narcissist, the psychopath, the sociopath. These people have lost themselves. Their egos have completely consumed them. These people cannot be redeemed. So to disconnect from one another is to move deeper into the shadows. The shadows, which are represented by the lower vibrational versions of yourself. We all speak of our higher self. You also operate in your lower self. And this is the shadows that we speak of when we speak of shadow work. And what I've noticed more and more, in indicative of the part of my dream where the people were being possessed. And when they would come out of the office, they were possessed, but they didn't know it. It had happened subliminally, subconsciously. Okay. And so this would be the condition of someone who is operating in their lower self, operating in their shadows. The type of person who would say, oh my God, I don't know what came over me when I snapped and, did a crime against another human being. When I snapped or when I became vengeful and did something to hurt someone that I actually love. I don't know what came over me. Your shadows are the parts of yourself that you are not conscious of, that you are in denial of as being a part of the self. And so when we don't own our own shadows, we project them outward, and it looks like the world is a bunch of monsters waiting to get us. Think about, because every time I start to talk about shadow work, I always start seeing the movie Us by Jordan Peele. Okay, multi-layered subliminal messages in there regarding, inner child work, childhood trauma, shadow work. And there's a lot. I think I'm just going to have to go ahead and break that movie down. I'm going to have to do a little video series about this movie and how it relates completely to shadow work and what's in the underground recesses of our minds and how it got there. okay, and how it formed an identity of its own, and how sometimes that part of us takes over. Sometimes that hurt part of us begins to bleed all over the people that we love, and we don't know where the blood is coming from. We think it's them bleeding, but it's really your blood. So, shadows are the parts of ourselves that we are not conscious of as being a part of ourselves. Lower vibrational versions of self that are not exposed to the sun. The ultimate goal is to align with the highest version of the self, the most high, to be closest to the sun, which is the only way to the Father. I just said something. King Rastafari, right on time, baby. I felt you in the building. So our shadows are lower vibrational versions of ourself. And God is the highest vibrational version of ourself. So when we separate from one another energetically, we are moving further away from the sun, which is the only way to get to the Father. The goal is to align with that highest self. So when when we are in alignment with the higher self, we are vibrating love, joy, gratitude, and confidence. And this triggers people who are in their shadows, because literally your light is irritating their demons, their shadows, by illuminating the places where they hide inside their hearts, inside their minds, making them have to acknowledge the fact that they still have work to do. They still have healing to do. Peace, love, and light, King Rastafari. So, when we begin to heal, we come into contact with, unhealed people all the time. Okay. And, if you're a healed person, and I'm not saying that we're ever completely healed, but there are, if we've actually been doing the work, you know what I'm saying, to purify ourselves, to purge, to acknowledge the places in ourselves where we need to heal, you know, we begin to see this acute energetic, divide between us and people who have not chosen to do the work, right? They they end up being the people who are attacking you in this spiritual warfare, because they are operating out of their shadows. So healed people end up being attacked by unhealed people whose shadows are attacking, and they don't even know it. They're not even aware of why they don't like you, why they're sending you the evil eye, why are they attacking you, why are they lying on you, why do they feel the need to tarnish your reputation. Okay, when you ain't out here doing nothing but minding your own business, trying to be about your Father's business, trying to help, and you know what I'm saying, trying to heal and be, you know what I'm saying, you struggling just like everybody else, trying to be a good person, trying to, ask the Most High to create in you a clean heart, and to renew in you a right spirit. And as you are going through this struggle, people see that this is happening for you. And now, because they have not put in the work, okay, to be a co-creator of their own experience, to participate in their own healing, that unhealed part of them that they are unaware of, okay, mostly unaware of, is going to attack you. And this is how most of us are being attacked, even as we speak, by people that have been closest to you, your closest friends and family, the people that you least expected. This is the part of my dream where the people were getting possessed and they did not know it. The beginning of the spiritual warfare. And I also know how it ends. So what I'm saying is not that this warfare has not always been going on, but now it's kicking into high gear. But the good news is that the light is winning, as it always does. Okay? So just look for, a lot of people who have been wearing masks that were comprised to operate in darkness. These masks are going to be dissolving because, again, the light is here now and there is no more darkness in which to hide, meaning that a lot of the people who have been operating in the shadows will be being exposed. Okay? And it has been a long time coming. People who have been going around hurting people and being able to operate in the shadows, committing crimes against humanity and thinking that they got away with it. No, all of these things will be put on the table. We are here for the weighing of hearts, my people. It's time to place your heart on the scale and see how that work out for you. Okay? For those of you who have been doing the work, you are being attacked by the people around you that you love, that may have loved you before the light got here, and their fears and their weaknesses were illuminated, and they were forced to move into the shadows, to operate out of their shadows. And so you walking in and you glowing and you having a glow up and you're getting blessed, and thou preparest the table before you in the presence of your enemies. Yeah, they don't like it. They don't like you. So though the higher vibrational version of your mama nim and your lover and your infinite flame and your best friends and all of that, the higher vibrational version of them may have loved you. Okay? But within a blink of an eye, if they have not healed, those unhealed wounds, triggers, fears, and weaknesses can be brought to the surface, and then you will be dealing with a completely different version of that person. A version of them that does not know you, nor does they love you, nor do they love you. It may be a version of that person that hates you. It may be a version of that person that wants to take you out. Be careful out here. I'm talking about people who have refused to do the shadow work, who have run from their lessons, for their whole lives. These people's demons have grown strong, like the girl's shadow in the movie Us. It has an identity of its own. I've been, because I'm very much tuned into the spiritual communities on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And I've noticed this, this phenomenon of divine beings being attacked at this time, okay, especially the divine feminine, but all of the chosen ones right now are on the front lines, okay, in this spiritual war, whether they know it or not. A lot of people don't understand what the spiritual attacks look like. They look like distractions. They look like arguments with people that you love that don't make any sense. They look like being ghosted. They look like sudden, abrupt shifts and changes to relationships that felt like they were solid. It looks like anxiety. It looks like not being able to sleep, eat, or think straight. These are all attacks because the battlefield is the mind, and the mind affects the emotions, and everybody affects all the other bodies. So you may well be under attack if you're having any of those symptoms and have not attributed it to that. But if it does not fit, don't force it. Don't make something fit. Okay, because if you have been doing the work, now let me say this, whether you've been doing the work or not, you will always be being attacked. Okay, you will always be being attacked. But when you have done the work and you have successfully been able to raise your vibration, you are above the influence, okay, of low vibrational beings. So the weapons will still form. However, they will not prosper. They can't even reach you. You're literally in two different worlds, on two different timelines, in two different versions of Earth. Think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. They on a whole nother vibe than you. And yes, it is a challenge to stay in a high vibration. And this is why the tactics of the devil and his children is to gaslight you, to, get you upset, to lie on you, to do anything to upset you, to lower your vibration. Because the moment that you lower your vibration in anger, in trying to defend yourself against something that's not even true, that which doesn't really even deserve your attention, the moment you lower your vibration, you are within reach of the most low. And now he got him two flying monkeys. Now he got him two conduits for negativity. Okay, so keep your vibrations high and you stay above the influence. It won't keep the weapons from forming, but it will keep them from prospering. If you emanate light from your heart center, love and light from the heart center, darkness cannot enter into the heart. Okay? So anytime you feel an opposing force or it's something trying to lower your vibration or trying to infiltrate your personal space with something that is not conducive to you staying in alignment, do what I do, because this is something that I just do personally because I am a certified Reiki master. Okay. So one of the symbols, the last symbol that we do before we close out an attunement is dicomio. Okay, and dicomio is just a sound that represents, it's a symbol, it's a sound, but it's a vibration. And when I use, because all Reiki practitioners, we do it in our own way. That's the beautiful thing about it. Now, you do need to know the symbols if you're doing the traditional Usui Reiki method that I know. I mean, I know there are other methods. And once you learn the basic symbols, I suggest that you tweak your method to your own way. But one of the things that I do, because the number 5 is also significant to me, is when I get to dicomio, which again is the fourth symbol. After focusing, harmonizing, and connecting with the person that I'm touching, that I'm healing, that I'm helping to facilitate their own healing. When I do dicomio, I also tap on my heart. I put my right hand across my heart and I tap 5 times as I'm calling in dicomio, which is equivalent to calling in the love and the light of God. Dicomio is the Reiki symbol we use to call in the love and light of God once we have focused, harmonized, and connected. Okay, so you don't have to say dicomio. Okay, I just wanted you to understand that what that means is I call in the love and the light of God. Okay, and this is what facilitates the healing, because the love, it is the connection. Okay, the first 3 symbols for Reiki are, I can say the name of the symbol. I can say chokure. I can say the name, but for me, I always give my own. So when I teach Reiki, I teach the symbol, I teach the traditional word for the symbol. So the focus symbol is chokure. And when I teach chokure, I also overlap it with what I'm actually thinking when I say chokure. When I say chokure, I'm thinking focus. Because when I look at the symbol for chokure, it looks like a target. Okay, so when I'm using this symbol, I'm literally saying that this is the focus, this is where I'm placing, this is where I'm sending the energy, this is the target. So if the person that I'm doing a healing, I'm giving a healing to, if I feel that they have a certain area of their physical body or energetic body that needs, a blast of light, that's where I'm going to put the Chokure symbol, because this is the area, this is where I want to focus on. This is my target area. So when I'm saying Chokure, I'm thinking focus. When I'm saying Seihiki, I'm thinking harmonize. When I'm saying Han Chaze Shonen, I'm saying connect in my mind. So it's like you can't just know these symbols. You have to know what it means to you. Focus, harmonize, connect, empower. When I'm saying dicomio, I'm empowering. I'm calling in the love and the light of God. I'm saying, God, come on in here. I'm saying where two or more are gathered in the name of love, God is here in the midst. So all a practitioner is doing as a healer is we are being that one who makes two or more to gather in the name of God, and then you're calling in the spirit of God by whatever name that you use. If you are calling in the energy of love, the highest vibration, you are calling in healing. It is the connection, the love that facilitates the healing. So if we consciously tell our hearts to emanate love, to emanate light in the face of darkness, and we do it immediately each time that we are faced with something that is trying to pull us down, then we are using hypnotic rhythm the way that it was meant to be used. Correct, King Rastafari, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Okay? As a man thinketh in his heart, because I always want to make it clear that it is the heart that thinks. It is the heart that wisdom flows from. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Out of the abundance of love that is in the heart, the mouth speaks, the mouth sings, the mouth expresses that love in a myriad of ways. At the end of the day, though, love is a connection. And that connection is required to put the pieces of the God puzzle back together. We are the pieces of the puzzle, my people. We have to remember, which means to come back together, which means to put back together the dismembered parts of the body. So when I'm speaking of, being a practitioner and doing an individual session on a person in a healing, and I'm saying that I am that second person who is gathering with them in the name of love to facilitate this, God being in the midst to facilitate this healing. If we do this on a larger scale, okay, and we connect with one another, and we begin to see healing on a larger scale. Okay. The Angel, I see you in the building. I'm gonna have to get off of here pretty soon, you guys, because I'm still being distracted, but I did want to get the biggest chunk of this message out, because I can continue and piggyback off of this when I come back. But I did want to get the biggest chunk, because I was trying to write down my downloads and I was getting distracted, and then it got too late, because I did want to go live right at 1, and then um, yeah, my phone started ringing like 10 minutes before I was ready to go live, which was a major distraction. So I did not get to finish writing everything that I was actually channeling. So I may, I'm not, I'm going to, because I'm very distracted right now. My phone is still ringing. But I do feel like I did get the biggest chunk of the message out is basically, if we have to tell our hearts to emanate love. Again, when I do it, I give my heart 5 taps. I just, with my right hand. And this is just to kind of wake it up, to activate, because we need to understand that there is a tangible energy that flows from our hearts, that flows from the mind. Our thoughts are energy that take form. And so when I'm tapping on the heart, this is just a little ritual that I do. You can do it in whatever way that you want to do it, but tapping on the heart is just, basically me waking up, turning it on. Okay. Turning on the energy so that I can then direct it into where I need it to go. So when I tap on my heart and I say, especially when someone is trying to knock me off my square, like in this moment, you know what I'm saying? When people are trying to pull you down into a lower vibration, focus on your heart center. Okay, and tell it I'm emanating love for you. When another person is trying to agitate you, focus on them and think and emanate love for them. Okay, and when we begin to do this immediately, each time that we notice something trying to pull us down, we begin to do this automatically. We are using hypnotic rhythm the way that it was supposed to be used, to positively program the brain and the body to be in alignment. Okay, with the will of the God, the builder that lives in our hearts. Okay. And when we are in alignment, then we can't help but to have our heart's desires. Okay. So I've only been here for about an hour. I do appreciate you all stopping by. I will be back tomorrow and for the rest of the month. Again, I was just again when this full moon came in this past week, it completely zapped all of my energy, and I was receiving DNA upgrades, and I just really had no choice but to allow myself to rest, to hydrate, and to reset. Okay, and so I do feel that I'm back now. So I do plan to be here for the rest of the month. Okay, so I do look forward to conversations with you guys. If I'm still up, because I know I'm about to get ready to go, have to make some moves, and then if I'm still up, I may come back tonight and finish the conversation, if you guys are still up. But if not, then I will definitely be back tomorrow. Okay, I reflect my destiny. Grandmaster Fee, I see you in the building. Grandmaster Fee, email me, send me an email, because I think, did I owe you something, like a reading or something? It feels like I forgot something for you. So we need to catch up. Okay, I feel like I owed you something that I never got around to getting. So peace and love, Lady Divine. I'll fly over here. Yes, fly over and beat the distractions. Yes, King. I love it. I love the energy. Please do. Please keep your heart in mind, okay, the whole time as well. And I do hope to see you in my live tomorrow night. Grandmaster Fee, like I said, hit me up. I reflect my destiny. I do appreciate you stopping by. Okay, and I am going to get out of here, my people. I will see you all tomorrow, and I'm sending you all peace, love,